Welcome to Golden Glory. I'm Miles Eversley. Thanks for joining us. The Senior Games 2024 came to an end on Monday, May 20th. The athletes and spectators enjoyed a spectacular occasion that was defined by perseverance, the determination of our senior athletes, and the support of spectators. As expected, there was more celebration following the culmination of the Games. The senior athletes invited my team and I to the Usain Bolt Sports Complex to share in the celebration of a number of Barbados Masters and Seniors Athletic Club members who excelled in various events in several sporting disciplines. Angela Holder was one of several athletes who shared their thoughts regarding the 20th hosting of our National Senior Games. What events did you participate in, Angela?
This year I participated in track and field, 100 meter and 200 meter. I got silver in both. Discus and shot put, silver in both. The 5K power walk, and I got a bronze medal. I also competed in darts. For the first time I took up my darts after 40 something years because I gave up darts in the late 70s for motherhood. I played darts for Barbados in the early 70s into the mid 70s. In 1974, I had the highest ladies score of 174, and I was playing against one of the top male players at that time when I made that score. But this year, well, I decided to take up darts. A fellow competitor, Pearl Yearwood, who's also in the club. When we went to the Senior Games opening ceremony at the Garrison, she said, Angela, let's play again, because they were advertising that darts is one of the sports. So we decided, okay, we'll give it a try again this year. But I did not even have darts. I had to borrow some darts. And thanks to Mr. Catlin, I think he is the coach of the Barbados team, he lent me a set of darts. And I played, and I came second. And Pearl, my teammate, she came first. But the game, we had friendly rivalry. It could have gone either way, because the first game, I should have really won that one, but Justin hit the double. Then she won that. I won the second game. It was 2 best of 3. And then the two of us, either of us could have won the third, but she was successful. So she got the first place and I got the second place. So all in all, I came away with 4 silver medals, a bronze, and the darts. I trained hard. I usually come out and train on a Monday and Wednesday and Saturday mornings at 6 o'clock. I do some strength training on a Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm quite pleased with my performance this year. And the reason why I actually started exercising with my group is because when I was very sedentary at work, I had just finished work and I was in the 55 years, and my son, he had a refit at the time. And I gone on this refit and it told me that I was 75 years old and I was 55. He said, can't happen. Because my husband, who was my same age, it told him he was 35. Yeah, he was very active, right? So I had to do something about that. So I joined BAMSAC, and I'm proud to say now that is all reversed. I am now 20 years younger than my real age.
Cheryl Howard Bartlett participated in the table tennis competition at this year's Senior Games. The final was held on May 8, 2024 at the Barbados Table Tennis Center. How did she perform?
I placed second overall, and I placed second in my age group, being beaten by the national coach of the junior table tennis team. But my plans are to come back bigger and stronger for next year. I also participated in the 1200 meter walk. For the first time, I started training about a month ago, and I was quite enjoying it. And I moved into walking because of an injury, and I'm quite enjoying it and decided I will compete in that, and I placed third in that. This year was more competitive. I find that there were a lot more competitors as it relates to table tennis. Last year came first. This year it was more intense. Not necessarily more competitors, but more seasoned players. As it relates to the competition, I was quite happy with the turnout of the competitors, and I was motivated to do to get involved next year with the field events because I found that the field events were well attended.
Cheryl Howard Bartlett, like many of us, is looking forward to the 21st hosting of our National Senior Games in the year 2025. Congratulations, Cheryl and Angela. Andrew Thornhill, John Martineau and Yolanda Aline were presented with a number of medals for their performances in a number of track and field events this year. Andrew, the youngest BAMSAC athlete participating in this year's Senior Games, set a record of 1.9 meters in the high jump event. He describes his experience as he participated in the Senior Games for the first time.
It was a very inspiring experience, I must say, because I remember the earlier Senior Games, which should have been 20 years ago. One of my goals was to be able to be in good condition to compete at these Senior Games. It got here a lot faster than I thought it would, but I did have a good experience. I really did have a good experience, especially training with the BAMSAC group. These people put in work. I can't tell you that they're putting in work. There was a time when I was feeling very tired. I was very tired, and I went to the gym, and I saw one of the other BAMSAC ladies there putting in some work, and I was like, if she's in the gym putting in the work, I can't slack off. So I was in the gym the next day.
That effort and dedication certainly augured well for him. Well done, Andrew. Athletic competition is nothing new to John Martineau. It was at the core of his life as a student and later revived during his senior years. He recalls the events that he participated in during the 20th hosting of our National Senior Games and how he became involved in athletics at the senior level.
I competed in the 70 to 74 division. I competed in 4 events, standing broad jump, 50 meters, 200 meters, and the 100 meters. So those 4 events. This is a carryover from school days. I used to be very competitive at school at Crumpton Street. After you leave school, you basically stop exercising and stuff like that. But I used to run like 10Ks and stuff like that from time to time. But then I heard about BAMSAC, and I came to BAMSAC, and as I say, the rest is history. The camaraderie, the togetherness, even though all of us are not athletes, because BAMSAC is broken down into walkers, runners, and that's people who just like to exercise. And it's just a wonderful feeling being with them and competing. So even though, for me personally, it's not about the medals and the winning, it's just the camaraderie and, of course, staying fit.
It is evident that fitness and social engagement are quite closely interwoven. Well done, John. Long-distance athletics are a passion of Dr. Yolanda Aline. In fact, she excelled in those competitions at this year's National Senior Games. She recounts the events in which she competed.
Aline here, 64 years old,
Yes.
now in the final 100 meters.
Looking nice and strong.
Yep, and she is going to get tremendous applause from the crowd on hand here as she runs toward the finish, arms and legs pumping, looking quite comfortable.
The 75-meter lead from Belgrade.
I did the 5K run, the 200 meters, the 400 meters, and the 800 meters, as well as the 1500 meters. This is new for me. New as in haven't done it in decades. Not new. I used to do it when I was at university. So it's the first time I'm doing sprints again, 200 and 400, and the gun start. I am more of a distance runner, very much a distance runner. I did it last year, but it was kind of like an introductory thing. I think I did one thing on the track, and I did the road race. So this is the first time really doing 4 events. And the spirit among the senior athletes, the masters athletes, was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Especially the younger age group in the 40s, they brought a certain level of competition that I admired.
That admiration is shared by all of us. Congratulations to Anthony, John, and Yolanda. Paulette Brooms was presented medals for her performance in a number of track and field events as well. Having been determined to improve upon her previous performances at our National Senior Games, she was elated to have been awarded. Paulette tells us of her performance.
I placed first in the 400. In the 50, I placed second. In the 200, I fell at the end of finishing, so I did not medal. And in the 5K, I second, silver. Oh, I think I did fairly well considering where I came from, because before I used to be lagging behind everybody, right? And from 2 years ago, I decided enough. I am going to work hard to improve my time. And with the training and the encouragement in all my events, I improve my time.
Coming around the final turn, into the straightaway, Paulette Brooms of BAMSAC. Here comes Brooms. Sandra Murray is second. About 30 meters to go, 20 meters to go, Paulette Brooms of BAMSAC. Brooms, few more steps to go. Brooms will be the champion in the 70 to 74.
Ecstatic first-time competitor Cosman Brathwaite also excelled in his field events. He shares with us his performances and his hopes for next year.
They participated in the cricket ball and in the javelin, and they got gold in both of them, right? Hopefully next year I'll do a little bit more. I'd probably do like a short sprint, like a 50 or 100 meters. I also would probably participate in the discus and so on, because they used to do that at school, but you know that'd be a lot of years ago. In school days, I used to do sprinting. I was a 100-yard sprinter. I threw the javelin, so it's not the first time I did the javelin, but what I learned a little bit more about, and those days it was just a case of strength and youth and enthusiasm and so on, but this time I got a little bit more opportunity to learn the technicalities behind the javelin and so on, right? So it was good, to have the coaching assistants and so on in the BAMSAC group.
In order for a person to compete the way we do compete, they must practice. You can't just go out there, get it a week or two and say, all right, let's run this race. What we normally do, we have sessions throughout the year. It isn't always strenuous running. As the season begins, we just go into preparation mode, where you are exercising. You come out the same way, you do your exercises, you do your drill, but not strenuous. Because if you want to compete, your body must be ready. Therefore, the constant exercise is necessary.
I had some people during my training sessions that were able to push me doing some sprints and that. I'm not really a sprinter, but they were really there and putting on the pace to really push me during the sprints.
There are some persons in our club who don't compete, but they come for fitness. So you will find that those people will do some walking, some not strenuous exercise, but they keep fit. Our club also has a session where we do line dancing. So there again, we are catering all around, and we are assisting persons in remaining active and healthy at the same time.
The health aspect of it is very important. I tell all my friends that it's very important to keep moving. Just keep moving. When we stop moving and stop being active, that's when the effects of aging really gets on top of us. So you need to stay on top of that in terms of health, your heart, your blood, diabetes, those sort of things. So you need to stay on top of it.
I continue to tell people over and over again, you don't have to join a gym, you don't have to buy weights, just walk. Just simply walking, and then the other part of that process is what you put inside here, your diet.
Get started. Even if you don't come into win, get started, get your body moving. If you were an athlete, get your body moving again. If you're not an athlete, it's never too late to start. That's for sure. It's never too late to start. You could just go through drill. You can go through drills and really improve your health and your physical well-being just by doing drills.
Come out, get into a program, join a club, train, become active. It only augurs well for longer living and healthier lifestyles.
Well, there you have it. A call for us to engage in a more active and healthier lifestyle as we seek to reduce the prevalence of non-communicable diseases and be productive. Now, since the inception of our National Senior Games, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation has been a keen stakeholder broadcasting the triumphs of our seniors in their sporting disciplines. You may recall that Andy Thornhill was present for the inaugural National Senior Games in 2002, broadcasting for CBC. He recalls the delight of the nation during this period regarding the engagement of our seniors in active lifestyles.
Part of the national conversation was all about bringing the seniors from the back burner and putting them on the front burner, because there was this debate, whatever, that we were not doing enough for our senior people. Yeah? So you can say that came at the appropriate time. The senior games were created at the appropriate time when that conversation was being held. How could we help? You know, what can we do? And of course, sports is easy. Sports and entertainment are easy mediums where you can actually get people to come out of their shell and try a thing, to use the local parlance.
All I can do at this stage is give a thumbs up to the first ever senior games. I think the biggest statement being made by the seniors is that they want to be included in the mainstream of things in our society. I think we should accede to the request forthwith. After all, they've earned it.
I remember there was a guy on the committee called Errol Best. So, you know, in mingling with him, getting information from others involved with the project, you know, he would say, Thornhill, we can sell out your stadium, you know. I said, Errol, you making sport. You can't be half in here. You can't get half in here filled. Only then to turn up the Saturday morning at the stadium to do the broadcast, commentary, etc. To find the stadium, well, as we were saying now in the local parlance, burst. Overflowing to the point where then you had to get extra seating on the velodrome, the cycle track. And people of all ages, the young and the old, people with picnic baskets. This is real. This is real. Obviously when they saw Mr. Best, he said, look, I told you so. I said, you're right, man, but you know, the good thing about it was the fact that young and old could get together and recognize what was happening. Because very often, young people can forget where things actually started. And a lot of those senior athletes who ran in the first games were actually national athletes, and people were able to claim on what they started. You know, we talk about the Shadell Williams, the Obadeles, the Ryan Braffets, the Shane Braffets, but there was a start. So when I then saw what was happening, it was incredible. I mean, I myself couldn't believe it, that there were so many people at the National Stadium for the first senior games. And then again, what happened was history. I mean, tremendous memories. How can I ever forget that old lady with the skirt, pumps, and broad rim straw hat, right? Then you have people like Pearl Yearwood, Shirley Harper, Kathy Harper Hall, who was known for administration and in different sports. But the question was, could she run? Of course she could. You know, Kathy was very successful. You could understand the kind of entertainment they brought to the National Stadium. Those memories are still etched in my mind, and to see that it was so successful. I mean, there were other elements, entertainment, there was tug of war. Look, just great, simply great.
Andy emphasizes the role that CBC played in our national senior games.
But don't forget, that was also part of what CBC was doing as a station, generally, ever since then and before, we were doing school sports. The senior games were live as well. So I was obviously part of that process doing commentary. Myself and Frida Nichols, if I'm not mistaken, did the first few senior games. So in terms of preparing to do commentary, wasn't a big thing. Obviously, you had to make a few adjustments based on the age of the athletes and so on, but the process was virtually the same. Where the race would run and then someone else would interview the competitors. So mentally, preparing to do the senior games wasn't a problem at all. The Ministry of Social Transformation, at the time, they did everything in their power to get the message out there. What is significant about CBC's involvement? CBC is the state broadcaster. That's the difference between CBC and the other media in Barbados. There are certain events that people believe that CBC should and must cover. Even if the others don't do it, they see it as CBC's responsibility to be covering it. So we'll say at that stage, CBC did the right thing, right, in covering the senior games, because CBC represents that medium that has to be hearing the voices and images of the masses, having to build bridges, having to foster further development. Back in the day, let's say, just draw the reference, cricket. Big man, you know how a guy would feel just to say his name in paper? Or hear on the radio? I remember I used to do, called the Mini League Report on football. Covered Saturday games, 1:05 p.m. on Sundays on, it was then 900, which is no late, 94.7, whatever. 1:05 and everyone would just gather around the radio just to hear the name. Everybody can hear the name, I just making the point. So CBC plays that role in having to build self-esteem.
And CBC continues to retain all pleasure in being the platform for our seniors to showcase their athletic prowess and so inspire all Barbados. This has been Golden Glory. I'm Miles Eversley. Do take care and thanks for your time.